What's good? How your day going? Morning, evening, night, all that good stuff. Go and click that like button for me, though. I appreciate it. While check out that chapter, Manipulative Murderer, the case of Michele Williams. Hey, the word alone, when I read the title, I was like, dog, I gotta watch this. And then looking at the thumbnail, look, I don't know what's going on. I don't even know if this is the same person. But on this one, okay, don't even worry about it. I ain't gonna start assuming shit. Yo, you wanna check out the original video? Link will be in the description below, but let's go.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this old video we're talking twists, you guys, and also the lengths people will go to avoid the slammer. I mean, I suppose I get it. It's a bit like what the dog says in there, but maybe then don't be bold. And definitely, don't be bold. Lie about it. Tell the truth about it, and then tell that lie again on camera.
What?
It won't end well.
Yeah, you confused.
This takes us to Dallas once again. A story of another American girl who wanted the old cake and maybe have it chomped too. I never understood the point of that saying, because what's the point in having a cake if you can't give it a go?
I never understood that neither, dog. And I love quotes and shit, so I'm like, all right, be quiet.
In North Texas, a story which once again, even I wonder why so many of my stories take place in Texas, in Florida, and in Ontario. I don't pick cases, based on where they're set. I just follow the stories which I think are most interesting. Why they always come from there? I mean, Florida kind of makes sense because, well, it's Florida. God love them. There's bound to be some weird shit there.
Ooh,
Ontario, well, I guess the Canadians are such lovely people that they need to vent in some way, and usually it's extremely gruesome. Texas, well, yeehaw. Keller, that rhymes with,
Shout out to Mo City.
I mean, who am I always talking about? Dwellers, yes, and in Keller there was 50,000 dwellers. If you can believe that. Holy monkey.
Shout out Huntsville.
Keller
shout out
sits in
Houston.
the northwest area of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metro one. It's close to the airport, the business center, and both downtowns, Dallas and Fort Worth. It has good schools, plenty of shit to do, malls, it's very safe and clean, and it's just friggin' delicious, guys. It's desirable. I don't know what else to tell you. For that reason, which I think we could all agree is goody gumdrops, that's why the Williams live there. Them being Greg with 2 G's and Michele with 1 L. And some kids. They lived in what may be referred to as a McMansion in the Twin Lakes Drive area, and the couple had been married for 3 years by this stage. Michele, she had 3 kids from previous marriages, and together Greg and Michele would welcome a 4th, a daughter. Greg was a wealthy man, entrepreneur. Michele, she enjoyed that, and she enjoyed being treated like his queen. But, get a load of this, she did not, if you can believe it, enjoy calling 911. She called 911 at about 4:40 a.m. on the 13th of October 2011.
911, where is the emergency?
Oh.
Somebody was in the house. I got hit really hard. You were hit in the head?
That night, Michele had been sleeping soundly when a booming sound cut off those Z's. In the darkness of that early autumn morning, in a house that was dead quiet after whatever jolted her awake, she walked slowly towards where the sound came from, like someone was breaking in while
Why she
Greg
didn't wake
lay
up?
sleeping. Then, as she inched closer into the hall, out of the dark came a whack, a crack.
Ooh.
She was hit, hard, right in the kisser. She managed to stumble back into the bedroom and saw Greg, with a man dressed in black beside. Groggy, she heard a loud bang.
No.
Through blurry eyes, she saw Greg had been shot dead. He was still lying in the bed, and on the floor right beside lay a handgun.
Nah. Okay.
Michele.
Okay. Because it could be another girl being introduced into this story. I'm just about to run off of what I got from 4 minutes and 21 seconds. Bullshit, dog. Why you ain't wake up, hubby? If you feel like somebody breaking in your damn house, I don't know what. Maybe you can check it out. I don't know. Go ahead, do what you want to do. But I would think that's your first instinct. Like, yo, wake up, check the house. Like, do what you do, nigga. Like, shit, get the gun, get the bat, fight, protect. Shit. But you just go check it yourself. Got hit in the lip. Nigga hugged your ass. Came in there and shot her behind. I'm gonna let it finish though.
Michele, she didn't have the easiest life, and she didn't make it the easiest for herself. But trying to convince police and prosecutors that she wasn't involved in this would be the hardest thing yet.
So I'll tell you, yeah, she did. All right, cool.
Michele Zahn from Hurst, Texas, was 17 years old when she had her first baby. 2 more would follow over the next 7 years. 2 boys and a girl from 2 husbands. Both marriages ending on, not the best terms. She would claim they were all cheaters. Men are pigs. But they would later give her the old reverse Uno card. Have a look at that. Her kids would say the same, that her marriages ended because she cheated. You know, she would be with her husband, she would start cheating, leave her husband for that guy, and rinse and repeat. In one instance, her second husband found her cheating, caught her cheating with not one but two dudes. And so he demanded a divorce, and in retaliation, she killed all his fish and tried to poison his dog. So well adjusted. And to support herself and her children, she would work as a dental assistant. Then, after being fired for stealing, telemarketing, and eventually turned to stripping work, sexual work. And they'd be living from paycheck to paycheck, sleeping on couches and motel rooms until... In 2007, she met future husband Greg Williams. They met actually on one of those websites with the whips and the leather and the daddy.
BDSM.
And from there,
BDSM.
The gravy train said choo-choo, motherfuckers. They had the $800,000 house, the matching cars, the pool, Greg himself 2 marriages.
Okay, so this where the money in the McMansion come in. Because I'm thinking like, damn, what? Oh, okay, wait. Let it finish,
Our house, the matching cars, the pool, Greg himself 2 marriages behind him also, 2 daughters. He had been successful in the IT industry. He created the company DFW IT Pro and was earning the big bucks, something which Michele took a liking to.
Duh.
Don't mind if I do. And Michele, she was a very sexual woman, to which Greg, he said the very same as she did. That's just kind of like the way she was, you know, a very sexual woman. Just, the problem was it just wasn't always with Greg. Greg's brother-in-law, his sister's husband, and Greg's best friend Bryn, one time, Michele called him up to the attic. And when he got up there, she was waiting for him, just completely Billy Bollocks. He did a double take and then said,
like, do I smash?
That's fucked up.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
He later committed suicide in a case where Michelle's name would come up more than once. They lived, they worked, they loved. Greg even buying a frozen yogurt shop for her to run.
Hold up. And hold up real quick. Let me go back real quick. I'm going to edit this out, though. But she said it was her husband's brother, which made it her stepbrother, right? Because I was thinking, like, hold up. He ain't say it was her stepbrother. Wait a minute. Let me see something real quick. What the fuck going on in this shit?
Sexual woman. Just, the problem was it just wasn't always with Greg. Greg's brother-in-law, his sister's husband, and Greg's best friend Bryn.
Damn, why we mention so many people at one time, dog? Shit, this is like my auntie, cousin, baby daddy, sister, bro. Like, damn, just say who. My bad. Let me catch on real quick.
Greg's brother-in-law.
Greg's brother-in-law.
His sister's husband,
and his sister's husband.
And Greg's best friend Bryn.
And Greg's best friend Bryn. I thought you about to say they all ran a trainer ass. I was about to say, dog, she hella freaky.
One time, Michele called him up.
Nigga Nigga, call who? I'm sorry, dog. I don't get this part. Damn, my bad. You probably in the comments triggered as fuck. All right, I'm gonna let it go. I don't know who. He named way too many people at one point. I'd have just been like, so like Greg, brother-in-law, he did it, but maybe that's not who it is. Fuck. Sorry, dog.
She was, a very sexual woman. Just, the problem was it just wasn't always with Greg. Greg's brother-in-law, his sister's husband, and Greg's best friend, Bryn. One time, Michele called him up to the attic.
Called Bryn.
And when he got up there,
okay,
she was waiting for him. Just completely Billy Bollocks. He did a double take and then said, "That's fucked up."
Man, I'd have just said Greg, best friend, Ben. Sorry. Alright, there we go.
I know. He later committed suicide, in a case where Michele's name would come up more than once. They lived, they worked, they loved. Greg even buying a frozen yogurt shop for her to run. Just to give her something to do. Here, that'll keep you busy for a while.
Just to put some in your funky ass
Michele's
thing.
2 grown sons, they helped out in Greg's businesses for a time, and they say he treated her right, spoiled her rotten. Though they themselves weren't too keen on him. They weren't huge fans of him at all. Like I said, not because of any way he treated their mother. He did that great. It was just everything else about him. He acted like he was 21 years old on some like college frat scene, not 45 years old.
Yes,
he was the big dog type, or thought he was anyway. He was a bodybuilder. He did steroids. He did karate. He would have these big major parties, sometimes inviting not people, who were too cool. Drugs was all the time, He was the kind of guy who would get shit-faced and then try to fight you. But the whole thing...
I hate them kind of fucking people, dog. I hate people that cannot control their alcohol, dog. It pisses me off. My bad, we ain't hear about that.
Drugs was all the time, He was the kind of guy who would get shit-faced and then try to fight you. But the whole thing didn't last long. 3 years after they tied the knot, then they became one big family. Greg was shot dead in bed. But by who?
Winky, winky.
Small business owners know
the pickle
they've
commercial.
got to be prepared for anything.
You gotta be prepared!
And when you use Constant Contact, prepare accordingly.
I like that one.
Police arrived quickly on the scene. A wrench was found on the ground, exactly the type that a good crack would leave that. Greg had been shot once in the head. When the police investigation sprang up, like I just said going through the background of the folk, there wasn't exactly a shortage of who could have done this.
I bet I know.
One of the first people Michele mentioned was Kathy Williams. That was Greg's first wife, and they did not enjoy each other's company. She said they'd been fighting a lot.
And that's where I'm trying to determine, did I hear the gunshot? Did I see the person? I don't know what I saw first. I heard a sound. I get up. I got hit by something. I could see it was male in dark stuff, dark clothing.
She neglected, though, to mention who she knew actually hated Greg. Her 2 sons, who were both in the army, or were veterans of the military.
I wasn't thinking them,
Though Michele's ideas, suspects, didn't go too far. The police weren't sure anyone without the name Williams was in the house that night. There was no signs of a disturbance, nothing was stolen, and cash was lying around. Greg hadn't fought or moved, yet Michele said the crash was loud enough to wake her up. The scene, from what Michele said, didn't match at all, and neighborhood CCTV didn't show anyone coming or going. No forced entry.
Hold up. What, was he beating her or something, though? I'm gonna let it finish. Look, I ain't saying... Hey, but if you beating a woman and it happened, shit happened, dog. Can't even tell y'all that story. Fuck it. Oh shit.
And neighborhood CCTV didn't show anyone coming or going. No forced entry, and why leave the weapons? The murder weapons even were Greg's own. It all looked staged. And Michele, when confronted, she said, no.
Yes,
There was someone there. Absolutely, someone killed Greg. I swear, on
And they
the
knew
Bible.
y'all guns were?
Everything, Michele, don't add up. You had nothing to do with it.
Nothing.
You didn't try to cover up the scene, move the gun or anything, touch the gun, touch the wrench, or anything of that nature.
No, I did not touch anything. I had nothing to do with whatever happened in there.
You either did it yourself or something. So you need to tell me. If he self-inflicted it, you need to tell me.
Talk your shit.
I mean, this is it. I don't, we're getting wits end. You've got to be honest with Michele. If he did it and you covered it up, just tell me. Either his is self-inflicted and you covered it up, or there's potential that you may have been involved.
I did not hurt my husband, and he did not hurt himself.
Okay.
There was a man in my house.
All I have is what I have. That's all I can say. One of the two things will happen. One of those two things, Michele.
I did not.
Okay. And again,
You will find that out because I didn't do anything to my husband.
okay.
That is until she finally admitted it after a couple of hours that he killed himself.
Get the
He
fuck
did,
out
you
of
covered
Dodge,
it up. Just tell me.
nigga. Pop.
Huh?
She said she was on the couch, heard a bang, and walked in.
My
I was
bad.
lying before, that wasn't the truth. Now I'm telling the truth. And I'm not lying. So why the story if it was a suicide?
Yeah, right.
If Greg killed himself, why invent a story of some kind of hitman? Well, she said, she cleaned it up, hit herself, made it look like not what it was, but kind of what it was, because she wanted to protect her daughter and his reputation. She couldn't explain why he would kill himself, though. The police let her go. They thought her story was, sticky.
I'm not even gonna lie, dog. Just from the story she's talking, I get it. He still lived that party life. I know what he mean, dog. I was just telling you all the other video how I'm still stuck in my damn college life, dog. That shit hard as hell to get out, cause his shit sound like it must have been like mine, super hella lit. But peep, so he probably was looking for that trophy girlfriend. All my college bros be looking for it, dog. Not anymore. Nigga be getting old. Sit your stupid ass down. Peep, no. So that was probably one of him. But what I'm saying is, dog, look, I guarantee you it's not hard. I could be wrong. I guarantee you from the story she's telling, if you was around her, you can tell her mental someone was like, nah, I don't think I want you in my life, really. I'll smash. I would. Ain't the right thing to say. I know it. I don't care. I probably would have. Wrap it up, though. I don't want no baby. Can't, because that can get ugly. Because if you get that pregnant and you ain't marrying it, I guarantee the shit can still go left. Not gonna cap to you. I still would have smashed and dipped. Sorry. It is what it is. I don't get that wrong, because if she would have had my baby, I'd have still been in my baby life. But I guarantee you, at that point, I would have fucked up my life.
Himself, though. The police let her go. They thought her story was, stinky, but no evidence to tie her to it. Nothing was found on the weapons. She already admitted she cleaned the scene, so there would be no evidence. And then they're like, they can't charge her because there's no evidence. Wow.
Michele Williams told Keller dispatchers an intruder killed her husband, Gregory Williams. Police
Psych,
began
he
their
killed
search
himself.
for the intruder.
We called the K-9 from Bedford out to see if there was any scent of an intruder.
But after hours of questioning, Williams changed her story.
Went into the room and found him dead, and then she proceeded to clean up some things.
Police say she confessed to staging the break-in by tampering with the back door, hitting herself in the face with a wrench, then she cleaned her husband's hands and the gun.
Well, first of all, the gun's not going to end up on the floor
Facts.
by the back door, and there's some pry marks that don't match up.
All, she said, because she didn't want her daughter to know her father committed suicide.
They simply charged her with filing a false police report, and she was out the door. After that, she was a strong, independent woman who don't need no man, especially now.
Here we go.
Because she just liquidated all of his assets. The frozen yogurt shop, she sold that on Craigslist. She sold his whole client list.
Damn! Shit you work hard for to pass down to your kids. Like that. Not only did you take bro life, but shit that he had in his name that his family could have used. I don't know if he had kids. I missed that part. I'm sorry. But I don't know. Or if any type of family. Maybe he was gonna make something. I don't know. I don't remember that part. Sorry. But that's dog. That's low. Man, I got a partner in Texas. This shit happened to him twice. Not the kill part, because he couldn't tell me. Couldn't have told me. What the hell? Look though. When they broke up, because they had joint accounts and shit. So when they broke up, cleaned the accounts out, dog. I was like, that's some scary shit. That is some scary shit. You gotta have no heart to do that. Okay, all right. I just went back real quick. Okay. So she already had 3, and then he made 1. All right. And that crazy, ho. Hold up, where was I at? Like right here.
Out to
Questioning Williams changed her.
She was a strong, independent woman who don't need no man, especially now.
Oh yeah, this is where we was.
Because she just liquidated
where she sold. Okay, it was right here.
all of his assets. The frozen yogurt shop, she sold that on Craigslist. She sold his whole client list. She was generally just having a good time. Who could blame her? As all of this was going on, the autopsies and medical examiners' reports, well, the ink had well and truly dried. And Greg's injuries were not consistent with a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
No.
In fact, it showed Greg, in addition to being shot from about a foot away, also had a large dose of sleeping pills in his system. Their young daughter, the only other person in the house who slept through everything so couldn't say anything, was never tested for any sleeping agents, so we can probably guess she had some too. Also, at the time of Greg's death, they were about to purchase a $4 million home. The problem was, the loan they had acquired, well, it had been done through some bogus means. Someone had been altering the account numbers.
I wonder
See,
who.
Greg earned really good money, and Michele was really good at spending that money. She, in fact, was spending it quicker than he was earning it. He also had an $850,000 life insurance policy.
Oh.
So, on the 9th of January, Michele was arrested
Hell no.
for murder, tampering with evidence and making a false police report. Her bond, $500,000. Somehow, after a week in jail though, it was reduced to $85,000, and she was out.
She just started a damn program.
Kettlebell workouts have been around since 1704. The Russian military actually started with it to strengthen their thighs. It's used for lots of sport-specific workouts. I'm a personal trainer, and I've been teaching kettlebell with other routines, and I decided to pull it completely out of the gym and put together a 30-minute workout.
Is this after?
It's very intense, cardio, strength building, and lots of fun. It's very upbeat, it's fast. Everyone really has a good time with it, and you get the same amount of
This
results that you
motherfucker
would
crazy,
in the gym
dog.
in half the amount of time.
Meet Shelley Williams, kettlebell lift
I'm
guide
sorry.
person. Reinvention is the name of the game, especially when you have an
Wait, she changed her name? I thought he was saying somebody else. Hold up.
Everyone really has a good time with it, and you get the same amount of results that you would in the gym in half the amount of time.
Meet Shelley Williams, kettlebell lift guide person. Reinvention is the name of the game, especially when you have an $850,000 life insurance policy you're trying to get your greasy paws on.
Or
of
did he
course,
just
though, she
call
wouldn't
her-
be able to claim it. The insurance company would turn her down because, well, you can't give it out to an alleged murderer. There's also a suicide clause in some of those life insurance policies, at least.
Oh,
Michele really wasn't.
What? Nope, because you said it was a suicide. Nope. You can speak to customer service.
Clause in some of those life insurance policies, at least. Michele really wasn't the bright spark. Now, Michele is what some might call a manipulative, attention-seeking, real piece of shit. Not me, though. No, of course not. I think she's one swell gal. And so too did her next boyfriend. He was also thinking something else. And it rhymes with MILF. No, it doesn't. That's actually the word. Her next act
I like
was
them
to
too,
announce
ain't no
her
cap.
next relationship, with whom she was setting up kettlebell fitness business with. Well, it was a guy named Gene Wallace.
You're in a group atmosphere, so it pushes you more than you can push yourself, especially with the type of instruction that you get from Shelley.
Who was her son's best friend, 15 years her junior. So she had a young boyfriend, a fitness business, fun nights out, and court dates. She also began to mention to those closest to her, you know, I actually think he was murdered. And you know who could have murdered him, maybe? Kathy Williams, his first wife. Or maybe.
Wait, did you
know, out and court dates. She also began to mention to those closest to her, you know.
Oh, so she was telling her.
I actually think he was murdered. And you know who could have murdered him, maybe? Kathy Williams, his first wife. Or maybe my own son. She tried to say her son had killed Greg. And then Kathy had killed Greg. The police, they both were both alibi. The police didn't bite. The case wouldn't go to trial, not yet. She actually got a plea deal. The reason she got one was, well, because the evidence was kind of non-existent, and it was difficult to prove beyond a reasonable doubt without getting anything physical. Amazingly, as I said, this was after she admitted cleaning up the scene,
Man,
said
what
he'd been
the
murdered,
hell, dog?
then said it was a suicide, and was now gonna say she had killed him. She pleaded guilty to tampering with evidence and deadly conduct. Essentially, that she in fact killed her husband. 18 years in prison.
When you use Constant Contact, prepare accordingly. Let's win this. With email marketing and more to drive your business forward. Try it free at ConstantContact.com.
Oh, I didn't do it. I like the, I gotta live. I think that's the one.
With a plea deal, I'm looking at a couple of years before I'm out for parole. And they say if you make first parole, I'll make first parole. I'm walking a straight line. Anything they tell me to do, I'm going to do it. It's a set, guaranteed time for this terrible nightmare to end.
Wipe the fucking eyebrows off your motherfucking head. What's going on?
I'm trying to mentally get there, you know. Right now, while I'm here, some people think a private cell would be awful and scary. It's the safest feeling you could possibly imagine because I'm not
This
a criminal.
shit crazy to me, dog.
And the fear of being in with people who are.
But, and this is a big old booty, she couldn't actually be sentenced yet. You know, she was expecting to get about 18
She about
years,
to get
but
off. I
the actual
guarantee you.
sentencing would have to wait. Wanna know why? Because she was pregnant. Pregnant with twins. She couldn't stay in jail, obviously, and maybe you give her a bit more of a favorable deal, you know?
Woman accused of murdering her husband 2 years ago has pleaded guilty to deadly conduct and tampering with evidence. Michele Williams was sentenced to 18 years in prison, but she won't have to go to prison right away because the 44-year-old is pregnant with twins.
Prosecutors have now agreed to wait until after Williams' twins are born for her to report to prison. This is just the latest surprise twist in this bizarre story.
This lasted a couple of months, you know, while she was out. And then the police and prosecutors had a look at her GPS, you know, her ankle monitor she had to wear. Hot diggity dog! She had gone back to stripping while out on bond,
While she was pregnant.
and while apparently pregnant. They found out as they could trace her movements, she never once went to a doctor.
Now, as NBC5's Scott Gordon reports, there is doubt about whether or not she was ever really pregnant.
They also noticed there was a couple of days.
I mean, damn, y'all ain't actually check, like, make you do the pregnancy test shit? Did she just say I'm pregnant and that was it? What the hell going on here? Boy, I've been pregnant forever. Like, nah, I can't come in today, Judge. I'm pregnant again. Nah, nigga, I'm pregnant again, dog.
They found out as they could trace her movements, she never once went to a doctor.
Now, as NBC5's Scott Gordon reports, there is doubt about whether or not she was ever really pregnant.
They also noticed there was a couple of days when she never moved. Like, even in bed, you would move, and this wasn't moving. She had discovered a way to take off her ankle monitor and go out and just like party and have a great time. Losing track of the lies over here. So when the police learned of all this, the lies, the removal of the GPS, her going back to stripping, the fake pregnancy, they back to jail, no bond. In jail, Michele, of course, she said she miscarried, so. Now, there's one more twist in this case of Michele Williams, but before I get to that, I want to mention another guy, talk about another guy I just mentioned in passing. Bryn Fletcher.
Yes,
he was married
nigga.
to Greg's sister. Remember, Michele tried to bone him in the attic.
He tried to fuck. I heard somebody say bone in a long time. Sorry.
Bryn Fletcher.
Oh,
he was married to Greg's sister. Remember, Michele tried to bone him in the attic. In 2010, a year before Greg's death, Bryn died. Officially suicide, unofficially something else. It was December 20th, and Bryn was driving to Waco when police received call of a suspicious car parked on the side of the road all day off Highway 34. Bryn was inside, in his own truck, dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. Michele Williams, of course, she would have been kind of close to his family. He was Greg's brother-in-law, but he was also Greg's best friend. And she immediately said it was a suicide. Before anything, she said it was a suicide. Michele Williams was also listed as the best person to contact regarding the case, which was weird because Bryn was... Now, the reason why that is, Bryn's wife, she was also named Michele, so maybe there was like crossed wires. Or maybe Michele Williams just wanted to really insert herself into the case of this guy who killed himself. Wink, wink. What were the odds something like that would happen to her husband later on? Michele said he tried to commit suicide once before. His wife disputed that, saying he wasn't suicidal and never carried a gun either. The reports of his death were conflicting. He was shot once in the head, but some reports state forehead, or eye, or mouth. It says he did it with his left hand when he was right-handed. There were some items found in his truck that didn't belong to him. Michele Williams ordered him cremated as soon as it was ruled a suicide. Bryn's wife, she was too upset to argue at the time. At one point, Michele Williams led the whole gang to the exact spot where Bryn killed himself and was like, here, look at that. This was despite the police releasing, to this day, almost nothing about the case. When asked how did she know that, she didn't. Bryn's wife thinks that maybe Bryn learned something about Michele that Greg wouldn't want to hear.
See, that's why I thought she did something manipulative. Manipulative, like trying to control this nigga like, and leading him on and shit. And it started going sour or something. And he was like, I'm the dude in office cell. But I'm kind of thinking shit going in a different direction. Hold up. We're gonna let it finish. What the dog? This story is so crazy, dog. It legit don't sound real. It sound like a movie.
Learned something about Michele that Greg wouldn't want to hear. And so, while awaiting her day to go to prison, essentially for the plea deal, you know, sentenced to 18 years, maybe out in 5, she agreed to an interview with the TV show 48 Hours. This would be a huge
I thought that was
mistake.
Greg treated me like a queen. He was the most amazing father to Michaela.
Did you murder your husband, Greg?
No, I did not.
Who shot Greg?
I have my assumptions, and that person is letting me sit here.
How long do you think you will spend in prison?
A couple of years. I went to trial with not having
She probably
the
ain't capping.
representation that I feel I needed on this case.
As far as how much time she gonna get, stop playing with me. I feel like she'll get free. I feel like what? I feel like she ain't gonna get no time, or it's gonna be like little shit.
I could lose the case and go away a couple of years. I went to trial with not having the representation that I feel I needed on this case. I could lose the case and go away for 50 to 100 years.
So yeah, In that interview, she said she didn't do it, but may know who did. Dun dun dun, yada yada yada. Now, she had already agreed to a deal where she admitted she killed him.
No, I did not. No, I did not. No.
Now on national TV, she's saying she didn't. She's saying something different.
Don't play games with yourself, with your lawyers.
I think about to say with me.
Don't play games with yourself, with your lawyers, or with the system.
The judge, he wasn't a fan of that. Her plea deal was revoked.
Let's start with a simple question. Are you in fact factually guilty of that offense?
No, I'm not.
I can go on, Judge. Depending on your
He
ruling,
look like he
I
want to
will,
fight.
If you're not guilty of tampering, if you're not guilty of deadly conduct, the answer to that question is a trial by a jury of your peers.
At a hearing in February, another surprise. She claimed she was pleading guilty to get a lighter sentence, but maintained her innocence.
A jury trial was now about to happen to her. You know, if she hadn't said that, she may have gotten out in 5 years. Well, because of that interview, she'll now have to wait a hell of a lot longer.
She sees the killer of her husband every single day that she gets up and looks in the mirror. Every single day. So you bet your bottom dollar that she knows
you bet your
her
buck,
husband,
baby,
because it's her.
Michele Williams shot Greg.
I know it.
Michele Williams shot Greg as he was laying in bed, working on his computer. He had fallen asleep. He was laying back in his bed, and she picked up his gun and took dead aim at his head.
Her defense went back to the suicide motive. He had money problems. His friend Bryn killed himself, apparently, and that really upset him. He was doing steroids to bulk up, and that messed with his mind.
But her defense attorneys say it was suicide, and that is why her story kept changing.
She's not a career criminal, ladies and gentlemen. This is not something she had time to think about. She panicked.
The worst thing that our system can do is to convict an innocent person.
The medical examiner could already say he didn't do it to himself.
So what happened? A green Martian came down and did it?
How do you do that? How do you get your hand
My shit
to do that?
And the interview she did for 48 hours didn't help because she essentially testified against herself. This is like the 4th time she changed her story.
Mr. Presiding Juror, it is my understanding the jury has reached a verdict. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Williams, if you would stand, please.
Ooh,
The verdict
I
in
know her
cause
heart.
number 1266846D says we, the jury, find the defendant, Michele Marie Williams, guilty of the offense of murder.
She was found guilty and sentenced to 60 years in prison.
60 years and more.
You know, one thing during my having a go at this story was that Michele's dad, he also had an addiction to the theatrical, right? He should have just gone to community theater, but instead what he would do is he would get jobs on construction sites and have an accident, or he would throw himself in front of cars, that sort of thing. The kind of stuff that, well, it deserves a legitimate injury. So I guess it's not really surprising Michele turned out the way she did. She pulled her own stunts, just a little different from Morel fella.
Crazy, man.
And it's not surprising that they eventually, as hard as she fought against, landed her in prison, where after lie after lie after lie, well, I'm not lying when I say she belongs there.
Man. Oh, this is crazy to me. Like, not even being funny. I legit, I mentioned it at the beginning. I feel like there's something mental at that point. Like, this shit can't be normal, man. It was the only thing she knew was to F up. It was like, I know the type. It's scary, dog, because it's like, man, it legit seems like you living your life. The only thing you know how to do is to mess ish up and then play the victim with the craziest lies and keep coming back with different ones. Look, the part that really kills me, though, because like, man, this shit hits so close to home is crazy. The part that kills me when people do shit like this, though, hit you with a big ass lie, same way she did. They can legit look you dead in your eye the next day and tell you a totally different lie or add on to that lie and expect you to sit there and believe it. Like you was gonna be like, oh, okay, so that's why. This shit is so sick to me when I see this shit. Look, I might edit this out, might not. Hey, my granny, she's gone, dog. And what happened to her was bullshit. I feel like, hey, did she had to do, dog. I had just learned, bro, like last year, dog. That's why I asked, like, man, was he beating her or something? Because I'm not gonna lie, dog. When me and me beating their wife, especially when it be like them big dudes, even though honestly, I don't know, I don't think I believe that, but I don't know though. I can't say that. But if it was like he was beating her, then hey, and it was like, yo, she's trying to get help, trying to report it, things that happen, blah blah blah. Did she end up whacking him? I'm not gonna lie, I would have not felt bad. Sorry to tell you that. But look though, either way it go, man. Damn, I be telling y'all too much shit. I be bringing y'all to my life. I don't give a fuck though. I just found out like a week or two before my mom passed, right? We just happened to be talking, chopping it up. It's crazy. I was telling Christine and everybody about this story and shit. I had just found out she was telling me the story about when my grandma killed her. My mom, you know, she wasn't my mom. What's her name? I don't think he was. I don't know, dog. Basically, the guy she was married to was beating, like, my mom said the dog shit out of her ass. One day shit went down. My grandma did some time, got out. Yo, my grandma was so cool too, though. And I used to always wonder, like, man, why people always saying, like, man, what your crazy grandma? What your crazy grandma? Like shit, I thought my grandma was nice as shit. Shit. Talking to the moon. Pull up the tingle ting. That shit is stuck in my head. I don't even know what to be saying. And the crazy part is, to me, I just so happened to start rebuilding that connection with my mom like a week or two before she passed, whatever. And we legit talked on the phone. And that was one of the stories she told me. That story she told me was fucking crazy. I'm not about to tell you that. Don't worry. I tell y'all just enough. Don't worry. You get just enough to peep into my life. But as she telling me, I'm like, nigga.